Today, here and now, I will bring to light the history and saga of my life. All that I hold as the closest and dear of that being my darling career. Out of all the roads I could have taken, on this path never was I mistaken. Gratefully, readily did I land here as an environmental engineer. The best among my field, my triumphs vast, to make society's green earth always last. Mother Nature, let me be your savior against cruelty and misbehavior. Guard your beauty, your infinite story, my brain, the weapon for your great glory. 10 years of transforming this beaten world to its former wonders once again pearled. Come close, listen near to all this entails, and let me tell you an intriguing tale. The long hot sun beat down upon the afternoon day. Houses of large and small sprinkled the streets and avenues in a quaint town whose residents led lives of ease with minds filled with simple thoughts. Amongst the townsfolk was a home which, due to its location, stood apart from the rest. This house lay at the top of a large and enormously tall hill. The hill was so vast in its heights that many non-residents of the area mistook it for a mountain, as it overlooked the remainder of the town and far past it too. While the house and hill were rather large, the family who resided there were rather small. This family was composed of just a mother and her young son. The mother was always occupied with some task or another. Mainly her duties were split between working at the town's local flower shop and taking care of her son at home. It could be observed that because of such a schedule, this mother was a rather busy individual and often had to enlist the help of her son. The boy was not overtly large, nor did he appear extremely thin, tall, or short. Those who looked upon him could see nothing amiss in his demeanor. He was considered amongst the townfolk an average and innocent boy. However, this was the farthest from the truth. The boy abhorred all the responsibilities that his mother placed upon him, and was prone to tantrums when asked to do chores. The chore in which the boy loathed the most was taking out the garbage. To the boy, the smell was horribly unpleasant, but the boy's hatred was most drastically placed on the fact that the trash can lay at the very bottom of their extremely steep and long driveway. To the boy's feelings about this, the mother and son would often have arguments surrounding the removal of the trash, and the boy always fought ferociously about it. The boy looked upon his mother stubbornly and argued, "I don't want to take out the trash. It's icky and really smelly, and the hill is so long." The mother, irritated by her son's demeanor, entirely replied, "I haven't the time to take it down myself. Please do it for me, or else I'll be late for work." With that, the mother hurried out the door and left her son still holding the trash. Ill-tempered, the boy contemplated the quickest means to rid himself of this odious joy, and he ended up thinking for quite some time on how to get rid of the trash. Finally, the boy had a brilliant idea. He would put the trash in the pond behind his house. The boy smiled gleefully at this idea. No one ever went near the pond, certainly not his mother, and the trip to the pond was much quicker than the trek down the hill. However, while this lonesome pond had no visitors, it was in fact inhabited by a family of frogs. The frog family was a rather large community. All the frogs could be traced back to the wisest and oldest toad of them all, Grandfather Toad. All the frogs listened to the advice of Grandfather Toad, and Grandfather Toad was known to have once been a great sorcerer when he was younger. All the toads loved their pond and were very protective of it, including Grandfather Toad. He could always be found resting on a lily pad, basking in the sun, while the other toads swam in the cool, murky depths of their pond. Upon this scene did the young boy arrive at. The boy did not care that this pond was the toad's home, and decided he would finish through with his plan. Grandfather Toad noticed the approaching boy and questioned him. "Who are you, young boy, and what are you doing near a pond?" The boy hotly responded, "Shush, you dirty frog. I am bigger and stronger than you, and do what I want, where I want." It was then that the boy tossed the trash into the pond and laughed mockingly at the toads. Outraged by the young boy's behavior, Grandfather Toad commanded that all the toads, young and old, jump onto the boy and swarm him until he fell into the pond. Grandfather Toad then chanted in ancient Toad, "Toadus transformus stupid boyus." With a wave of his leg, he finished the spell. The once human boy had transformed into a toad. The boy's punishment was clear. For defiling this sacred toad pond and being cruel to its keepers, the boy would spend the rest of his life living in this pond and removing all of the trash that he had thrown into it.